Good evening, fellow patriots. Welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Thank you for tuning in for video number 199 in the Hope for Survival YouTube library. Appreciate you coming back and sharing your time here with us, like-minded family. And this video is more of a discussion than anything. So I want to start it off with a question. For those that are paying attention, how many of you, in some manner or fashion, how many of you are struggling to a degree watching the demise of America? From the America we grew up loving to the current America and where it appears things are going. Do you give it any thought? Not just daily events, but in the big scheme of things. From the America that our forefathers envisioned when they authored the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the forming of states, and the rest is history. At what point in history, looking back on it and being wiser now, at what point in history did many of the things that we were being told as citizens, when did they start being lies? For the better good of America, for the better good of the people, we have to do this to protect you. We need to take away some more of your privacy and rights to implement these programs to monitor communications. We need to do these programs so we can track bad people. Kind of like hook, line, and sinker, right? It's like officials went out on the steps of the Capitol singing "Kumbaya, we love you" with fishing poles, casting them out and reeling in all the suckers that bit the hook, because we trusted them. And now it is as if every channel you turn on, if you watch TV, it's as if every channel you turn on, it's lies. Network news playing and reporting to an agenda. Oftentimes their storylines are either fed to them from the government or approved by the current administration and past administrations, depending who is in office. When the majority of American people believe everything we tell them, then we have them where we want them. And sadly, we are at that point today. And my intent here is not a doom and gloom video. I hate doom and gloom. But my intent is to hopefully widen your eyes bigger from current events daily or weekly to a bigger picture of things. I often converse with other fellow veterans who are retired, in the same age group, 50 to 70, maybe 55 to 70. And in our discussions, almost always one of us will make the comment, in all my 20 plus years of serving my country, I never ever envisioned that I would turn around and have to live through what we are witnessing, which we have witnessed at some point in past history in a foreign country. We spent billions and billions of dollars. We lost countless American blood on foreign soil, protecting and preventing other countries from going down the path that we are hook, line, and sinker following today. I spent countless months in countries coming out of either Marxism or communist governments. And though the people, the citizens of the countries were proud, happy that they were gaining freedoms that many of them had never had before in a lifetime, but they were crushed. Survival was extremely difficult. Healthcare was minimal to none. Food availability was daily, minimal to none. Almost everything it took for them to survive, other than baking bread, was being shipped in for months upon months upon months. And even over on the continent of Africa, in different locations, witnessing different kinds of violence, fallen governments, assassinations of heads of state, tribal wars, massacring hundreds of thousands of different tribes, minimal to no health care, but it was often the same as the haves crushing the have-nots. The poor, it's almost mentally baffling, but watching skilled laborers who were dirt poor and lived in cardboard shacks would walk across the street to multi-million-dollar mansions that they built with their skills. All of the labor, the landscaping, the cooks, the maids, the security, they all lived in the cardboard shacks. But yet they were servicing the wealthy. I'm telling you this because so much of this is what we're witnessing in America. The very few, the elite wealthy, in their little secret societies, are controlling everything from the banking all the way down. The tobacco companies from the 70s now own most of the food corporations, and it's all connected through big pharma. These are big problems, okay? And if you still think because you get in your car and you go to the corner and get gasoline to go to the store to buy what you want on paved streets, if you still believe because you have these niceties, there's nothing taking place, so you're not going to be impacted, I hate to tell you, but the storm is approaching, and a lot of the remnants before the storm are already hitting it in place. If you don't believe, think back 10 years ago. think back 20 years ago. What would the likelihood of a presidential candidate, former president, two attempted assassinations on the individual's life happening in a matter of 2 months, maybe 3 months? If that's not Banana Republic, south of the border, nothing is. And anyone who continues to believe the mainstream flow of events, I hate to tell you, but the ship's sinking, and everyone's going to be off the boat but you. You can't tell me, and you can't convince me that it was just by luck and a whim that an individual transits from Hawaii to Florida, obtains a firearm, ammunition, and just randomly knows that the former president is going to be on the golf course at X hole on the course at a given time without someone telling him X candidate, the former president, is going to be golfing on Sunday and will be passing these holes at this approximate time, and you could have a clear shot at this location through the fence. You'd be easier convincing me to buy a bridge over the desert than convincing me that that was just luck. No how, no way. And to make it even more convincing, there had to be someone inside. It was in broad daylight, surrounded by Secret Service agents. No. So let me ask you a question. That was attempt number 2. What if there's attempt number 3 and the person happens to get off a shot and it takes down and eliminates said candidate? Have you given any thought to what is likely going to happen around our country? It's going to be much of what is going to happen on election day, most likely, because I don't do predictions. But based on history and analysis, it is likely what is going to happen regardless of who wins the election. And I think authorities know this. So the question has to be asked, is this what they want? Do they want a civil war amongst the people of our country? Is this the next step of rolling out the next phase? Time will tell. But in the meantime, that everyone is watching all these manly events, if you will, human events, there's crazy things happening from a natural perspective as well. The box planetary alignment is coming up at around the end of October. First time in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And some of the experts believe we could expect some major changes to daily life here on Earth. So there's a lot of big problems, man-made and natural. And if you don't think there's someone involved, people involved, programs involved, answer this question. You can Google this and look it up. David Devine was talking about this on Adapt 2030 in the David Devine show uh, in the last couple days. There is a location in southern Africa that has been a desert for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Nothing grows there. It's because it's so dry. They don't get rain. How did authorities know 15, 20 years ago? How did they know, or what did they know, that they invested $7 billion to build a hydro dam in the middle of this drought-infested desert where there's no water? Why would you build a hydro dam in the middle of a desert? It's one of, I believe he said, 8 to 10 of these dams they're building in drought-stricken areas in Africa. But this one particular. They built this dam and there's no water anywhere near. They finished the dam. And over the last few months, they've had so much rain that the dam is now operational, I do believe. The dam is operational and it has pooled, and in some areas of the pooled lake, there are some estimates the water is 400 foot deep. Now, you tell me, how did they know 20 years ago? Or could the answer be through weather manipulation, which they're still in denial over in most cases? So many of these crazy things that we see that make us scratch our head as to we always get rain, but we haven't had rain in months. The ability to control weather to prevent the watering of our crops here in America. I, in the past videos, have talked about you need to give some consideration to growing food indoors, because some of the experts are talking about how the Earth's position, the magnetic field, and the tilt is going to impact what regions on Earth we're going to be able to grow food. And one of the regions that will be able to grow food after the changes is where they're putting these dams in. So you tell me how 20 years ago, if they knew, they built these dams, why they haven't been sharing it with the population, which then says, or asks, what else do they know that they're not telling us? So a lot of these trivial things that happen daily that we get all caught up on our soapbox over, I would strongly encourage you to start prioritizing the things that are important to you, to spend more time understanding how you are going to survive as these things roll forward. Yes, I know the Lord will provide. There's no questioning and no doubt in that one. But for those who do nothing, when you call 1-800-DOMINOS, they're not going to bring you a pizza. All right? There's some self-responsibility in this. All right? The man who sits in his recliner eating ding-dongs, you're going to be severely up a creek. All right, that's just a fact. So keep your head in the game and keep focused where where you need to have your head at. Okay, it is almost beyond. Okay, well, I've put food back. I got 3 years of food. I got 5 years of food. You need to start being open-minded and thinking outside the box as to okay, if all the game is hunted out and the waters where I would fish are polluted or dried up, how am I going to survive? Okay, how am I going to produce, or how's my community going to produce for your loved ones or your community down the road? This isn't a 1 hour discussion over dinner and you have an answer. This is going to take some time and some effort and some planning. Okay, because the way trends are going right now, it is highly likely that there are going to be overseers and laws that are going to restrict what food you're allowed to keep, and how much of what you have or grow is going to have to be shared with authorities. If you don't know what I'm talking about, excuse me, simply go, excuse me, go back and look at history. Okay, this isn't a new ball game. It's not a new game of checkers, and it's just coming about in a new location. The haves versus the have-nots. The 1% versus the 99%. And so far, they're getting away with it. So give that some thought. Keep your head on a swivel. Stay strong. Think positive. Be a thinker and doer. Go to the problem. Do your best to resolve a solution for you versus laying back and letting the 1%ers punch you in the face. Okay? They know they can get away with it to this point because no one is standing up to them yet. So if you like this video, please hit like. It would be much appreciated. It helps our algorithms and all that good stuff. And please share. And if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Encourage others to subscribe as well to help us grow. Again, I'm not coming here and spending time to tell you a new story about the chickens and cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio. There's plenty of that out there. You're getting your brain full on it. I'm not going to tell you a different version of it. I try the most to focus on the bottom line of helping all of us, to include myself, stay focused on where we need to be investing our time, our energy, and our mindset. Okay? Because 90+% of everything you're hearing on podcasters is in a week, month, year, you're not even going to remember it. So prioritize what you need to do. Okay? And try to remember the best you can what you have around you, books, documents, save files that will help you in areas where you may have questions, that you can get in the habit of going to that material to research for answers. Okay? So again, thanks for your time. Stay blessed, and most importantly, don't forget to give thanks. Bravo Echo out.